for our attorney. He is stuck in traffic, so we're gonna, should be any minute now. So we're just gonna hold tight. All right. I don't want to, because you're first up on the docket, so I just want to make sure you're all situated. You got your papers, however you
Yeah, let me
need.
just
Don't
pull my
rush.
agenda
It's all
up.
good.
All ready to go. So,
Ready?
yep.
Okay, we're going to call the meeting to order. It is 6:31. If we can please have roll call.
Jackie Turner,
Present.
Miss Rich,
Present.
Grossman,
Here.
Mr. Wood,
Present.
Mr. Fuchs is absent.
Okay, thank you. So if we could please have our attorney review the quasi judicial
Absolutely.
and swear in our speakers.
Absolutely. Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Quasi judicial is different from a legislative hearing in the fact that you are quasi judges. In essence, you're applying policy that's in the code. So during a quasi judicial hearing, you need to listen to the evidence that's presented to you by the experts. One expert would be your own planning staff. Anybody else who's going to speak, the applicant, things of that nature, and apply it to the criteria that's in the code for this particular type of application. During any type of quasi judicial hearing, all the board members have to do an ex parte disclosures if you've had any outside contact with anybody about this application, or if you've done any of your own research, like going by the property, visiting the property or anything like that, received any emails. By law, you have to disclose that on the record. And then as the chair mentioned, then all the witnesses that are going to testify, speakers need to do so under oath. And I can do that now if you like.
Please.
All right, anyone who's going to speak here tonight, please stand and raise your right hand. Yeah, you're the applicant, I guess. You swear or affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
All right, great.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so we'll have our first order of a business, application number 24-75, which is a variance to reduce the required rear yard setback for the purpose of constructing a new covered deck on the backside of the home. Property address is 1002 Bay Vista Avenue. If we could please have the staff present this item.
Yes. Allie Keene, Planning and Zoning Department, Principal Planner. Okay, the subject property is located off of Bay Vista Avenue. It's outlined here in red on the screen. This property, as well as all properties in the surrounding area, are in the R100 Single Family Residential Zoning District. The applicants again are here requesting variance approval to reduce the required rear yard setback for the purpose of constructing a new covered deck on the backside of the existing home, which does exist underneath all of the vegetation on the aerial here shown on the screen. The R100 zoning district requires a minimum rear setback of 30 feet. The applicants are proposing to construct a 480 square foot covered deck, which is shown here in the orange on the screen here. They are proposing that to be set back at 18 feet. This will replace an existing screen enclosure, which is shown here in the dotted black line, that will be removed once this is constructed. The survey shows the existing home set at that 30-foot setback currently. So the area that's shaded in green represents the entire setback area. So any sort of structure that would have a cover or hard roof on the backside of the home would necessitate any sort of variance request. or necessitate a variance request. The survey also shows the existing home has side setbacks between 19 and 20 feet. The applicant did provide floor plans, both existing and proposed, showing that the only access to the backyard is from the rear of the home. And as you saw on the aerial photograph, there's a lot of vegetation and existing trees on the property, which do limit potential locations for a deck with a covered that would meet the zoning district requirements. The applicant did provide some renderings of the proposed covered deck. It is a pretty significant structure that does tie into the roof line. The Land Development Code does provide some exceptions to the typical zoning district setbacks for certain structures. Some of these you are very familiar with, such as pool screen enclosures with open screen roofs. Those types of structures are allowed to be built up to 5 feet from the rear property line. And we are able to apply that same standard to screen enclosures that don't have pools. The existing screen enclosure, which is shown in the picture here, it's a little hard to see, but it was provided in your packet, does have an open screen roof. So how it is currently constructed, if it were proposed today, it would be permitted as it is. Another exception in the Land Development Code are for structures that are less than 30 inches above grade. The code does not consider those yard encroachments, so setbacks don't typically apply. If the proposed deck did not include the roof structure and was less than 30 inches above grade, it would be permitted as it is. So the deck could be at 18 feet or even closer to the rear property line. So it is the covered that is requiring the variance request. And as with many residents and Floridians, the roof is necessary for shade. The last consideration is for front porches. The Land Development Code does have a provision that permits front porches that are unenclosed to extend 10 feet into a required front yard setback, but no closer than 10 feet to the front property line. It does require that front porch to remain open and it cannot be screened, so it's very similar to what the applicant is proposing in the backyard. However, that provision is very specific to the front yard, so we could not apply it to the application that you see today. These are your variance criteria, and I am happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. Anyone have any questions for Ms. Keene? Yes, sir.
Backyard, the rear of the backyard, it backs up to another street, so the property goes from street to street?
Yes.
So the rear yard, you've got the street, you have a sidewalk?
I don't believe there's a sidewalk on Hillside.
Then it looks,
Correct.
so is that right away in addition to the 30 feet from the home to the property?
So the rear property line is this blue line. Oh, I'm sorry. This blue line here. So the right of way, it shows on the survey that's 60 feet wide. So Hillside Drive, which is kind of here, there's 60 feet of right of way.
60 feet from the road to the back property line. Is that 30 feet from the back property line to the house?
So
The
not
60
exactly,
feet
not the
is
edge of
the street.
pavement. So what I'll say is from the property line to the center of the right of way, you have 30 feet. So so I don't know where the edge of pavement is. The survey doesn't show the edge of pavement. So I don't know how far away the pavement of the road is to the property line.
Substantial.
Correct. Right. Regardless, there's 30 feet to the back of home to their property line. There is some distance from the property line to the edge of pavement.
Excuse me, all of this has to be on the record, so, and I believe your microphone might be off.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Thank you. All right, so there's substantial amount of space, extra space because there's a road behind, there's not another house behind.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
That's what I was gonna, thank you.
Okay.
Sorry about the microphone.
And so a question follow-up on that. So the application is for a covered roof, no screen, replacing with a slight adjustment of the location in the house, a screened, not covered, like a birch cage style.
Correct.
Got it.
Yes. Sorry. I need to change that.
Okay.
Correct.
Any other questions for Ms. Keene at this point? Okay, if the applicant would like to come to the podium, and when you step forward, if you could state your name and address for the record, please, and you have been sworn in.
Good. Hello. Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here. My name's Brett Ramker. I own the home at 1002 Bay Vista. What I was trying to say before, and I don't know if it matters or not, but just for an additional piece of context, Hillside's a dead end. It's just butts into somebody's yards. It's almost like another cul-de-sac at the end of it. It's a very quiet, private road. But yeah, I mean, I think Allie walked you through all of the technical notes. My only note is like, I would love for my wife to be able to sit in the shade in our backyard in the summer, because if she has to sit in the sun, it's not going to be good for me, is what I would say. And yeah, obviously Florida's weather is crazy. I mean, we had an insane year this year. So for us, it would be amazing to have a place where we can enjoy the outdoors without, trying to be killed by it in the summertime. So if you have any other questions for me, I'm happy to answer them, but that's really all I have.
Any questions for the applicant? As we were discussing, and you probably would know roughly, so the edge of your property line, which is shown there,
The blue.
the blue line there, there's still green space between the edge of your property line and the start of the pavement?
For the road?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a bit. I haven't measured it, but I've walked 30 foot back with a tape from the back of the house, and I was not standing on the road. So there's a little bit of a buffer there, probably 3 to 5 feet, if I had to guess.
Okay. And that hillside, like you said, it doesn't go through, it kind of dead ends somewhere like
so how
behind
it
your
works in the-
property?
Yeah, so on everyone on Bay Vista, their backyard is exposed to hillside. And then as you get to the end of it, it's sort of like a cul-de-sac. Like there's one house that's sort of in the middle of it. And then the people across hillside from me, that's their primary access. Their houses just back up to other houses. So yeah, it's a pretty unique lot.
Right, so the only one going down hillside, down your backyard area is your backdoor neighbor getting to their house?
Yes, my immediate neighbors, that's correct.
Gotcha. Okay. I believe I went out of order here. Ms. Keen, were there any comments from public, anything submission?
No.
Thanks. Any questions from the applicant? Okay. Any public comment? You're just a good buddy. That's awesome.
This is my dad and business consultant and general contractor.
And dad, that's
Yeah.
important.
Oh, I led with that.
Yeah. Okay, so we can close public comment at this time. Is there any
Thank you.
board discussion?
Motion to approve.
Okay. We have a motion and a second? All right, roll call, please.
Mr. Wood,
Yes.
Mr. Grossman,
Yes.
Ms. Rich,
Yes.
Ms. Turner.
Yes. All right. Happy building. All right, y'all have a good one. Have a great holiday. Thank you. Okay, so our next item is the approval of the minutes. Do we have any motion, any comments?
Make a motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, motion second. Roll call?
Mr. Wood,
Yes.
Mr. Grossman,
Yes.
Ms. Rich,
Yes.
Ms. Turner.
Yes. All right, so board and staff comments. Thank you for including the 2025 calendar of meeting dates already on my work calendar, so thank you very much.
Excellent.
Did you have any other notifications for us?
I don't. Just have a wonderful holiday and happy new year. And we don't have any applications on the January meeting, so you can just mark that one off.
There we go.
Yes.
All right, sorry.
I do have a conflict with the February and October
Okay.
meetings, so I just want to go on record. I know we're not a full slate right now, so I just want to speak up now or forever hold my peace.
Yeah, and I do appreciate that because it's important to let the applicant know if they have a short board. I mean, typically you want to give them an opportunity to continue it because they would have to, there might be a little more challenging. And then also I wanted to say that if anybody feels like they have a conflict with an application, I can get you guys my phone number so that you can call and talk to me about it ahead of time. And then that way we'll walk through it and I can tell you how to handle it.
What's the bare minimum board members we can have, still make a decision? What's the bare minimum of board members we can have and still make a decision or a verdict?
For a quorum, it's a 5-member
I
board?
think we can do it 3.
3, so it's, you
Because we're a
need 3?
member board.
Yeah, 5-member board, so it's 3, but you would still, it would be, I believe it's still a majority of the,
3.
of the 3?
I believe everyone has to vote.
No, that's what I mean. It's a majority of all 5, no matter whether you're here or not. So you have to have 3 for quorum, but you still have to get the majority of the membership of the board. Even so, it's not a majority of the 3, like 2 to 1. So you would have for an approval, you would have to have all 3 votes. That's why you want to give an applicant an opportunity
Okay.
to move forward.
And we've run into that. I remember there was one particular meeting date. There was an application that was particularly complex. It was going to be a bit of a challenge to review. I believe they had been before the board before with a very similar application. And we knew we only had 3 people present. And knowing that we would have to all have a unanimous vote, we, in agreement with the applicant, chose to table their application until the next meeting to give them a more, fair, full representation. So that's, we've run into that once, and I think we all felt comfortable making that decision. So we appreciate it.
Hopefully we'll get a couple new members.
Citizens Academy, has that finished, or? I know they had a.
It's been going on. I'm not sure if it's concluded at this
Right.
point, but hopefully we'll get a couple members. Mr. Fuchs, we still have as an alternate. So we have 5 members, which is good, but so hopefully we'll get 2 more to fill those vacant spots.
Yep, fantastic. All right, so if we don't have any other business, I will adjourn at 6:48. Have a great holiday.